So much has been said about Tyler Perry's Ruth and Boaz, but is it truly the adaptation we expected or just another modern spin? And trust me, you shouldn't miss this one because I've got a lot to say. From the cast to the performances, and yes, even that third person narrator. This movie gave serious moonlight vibes. It was soothing to watch, beautifully framed, but not without its flaws. In this video, I'll explore the film, highlight the parts that didn't work for me, and share how I would make them better as a scriptwriter and visual storyteller. Ruth and Boaz is an adaptation of the biblical story of Naomi, told in modern day setting. There's been plenty of buzz online about it not being an exact replica of the Bible story, and that the title might be clickbait. Stay with me to the end because I'll be sharing the honest truth. Now let's get into it. This scene was a bit off. Looking at the club, the atmosphere, and the environment, Naomi and her husband weren't even supposed to be there. They were like the only older or mature people present. And with their class, coming to a club just to see the girl their son was raving about felt like a no no. It seemed like this was the first time they were meeting their son's girlfriend. And this wasn't even a milestone in Ruth's life. The 404 studio recording, which she opted out of, was. So I really didn't get it. Perhaps a better way to lay the foundation of Ruth and Naomi's meeting could have been this. Malon, Naomi, and Eli's son walks up to them in the house, vibing to Ruth's live performance, which he's streaming on his phone. Excited, he tells his parents they've got to see this as he raves about Ruth. He shows his father and mother the video of Ruth and her friend performing. And Eli, seeing this, loves her already, saying she's great in her element. Naomi feels uncomfortable and doesn't really like Ruth, but agrees with her husband that their son can bring Ruth home. Marlon leaves to meet Ruth at the club and picks her up. Every other scene could be maintained. It would still flow naturally, except for Marlon meeting Ruth's manager in the dressing room or outside the club, where the manager says his initial lines: "You must be Marlon, and you've got to be taking care of this superstar." For the story to keep flowing naturally and tie the scenes together perfectly, Marlon brings Ruth home, but Naomi doesn't really speak to her well. Then comes the bed night scene of Naomi and her husband talking about Ruth, exactly as it was in the movie. Another scene I didn't quite understand was Ruth quitting her job. It wasn't established in prior scenes, which made me wonder how she got $3,000 packed up in an envelope, like she already knew she was going to quit. Since that act already established the fact that she knew, what was the extent of being at the studio and getting involved in the recording process in the first place? A better way to make this scene more realistic would have been Ruth telling her manager that she had $3,000 saved up, which she would send to him before the day ends, as their conversation continues just as it was in the movie. And this brings us to the window scene, which started off beautifully. The covering of the window got blown away while Ruth requested Naomi's help to get the tape, which was nice. We see Naomi just sitting there, also nice, because I felt since she was grieving, it was normal to be less involved and only do things when she chose to. But the part that took me off was when Ruth was playing with the window covering, the white nylon. I call it playing and not struggling because it was overly dramatic and didn't look real. I didn't feel the tension of that moment. The nylon didn't do enough justice in suffocating, covering, or restricting her, which made the line, "I almost lost my life," hard to grasp. And that's what made the laughter fall flat. If instead she was about to fall and Naomi, though resistant at first, rushed to save her, that would have hit emotionally. The laughter afterward would have been more powerful and relatable. Now, about the title, it's not clickbait at all. In fact, it's quite the opposite. The story unfolds beautifully into the meaning behind the title, and it's not abstract, which made it even more beautiful. As the story progressed, we got to unravel the title in its most beautiful form. The title is a 100 for me, but do you think we can come up with another one? I'll leave that for you to decide. About the balls online, I don't think this movie was meant to be the exact replica of the biblical story because this is modern time. The inspiration was drawn from the biblical account, which is why it's just an adaptation. While this movie explores some of the same themes we see in the Bible story, faith, forgiveness, understanding, brokenness, and redemption, I want to focus on the major theme of love, which serves as a very powerful message. This movie takes us on a journey of love. It shows that love supersedes all things. The two major characters who best portrayed this are Naomi and Boaz. They were both wronged by Ruth, yet they never blamed her for the downfall she caused them. They truly forgave her and decided to see the light that came from the pain. Faith was really tested in this movie. Naomi and Boaz, in many ways, exemplify God in this context, representing the unfailing love of God no matter the wrongs we commit. For every fire we walk through, even when we cause it ourselves, He's always there working with us, taking every blame and every insult we hurl on Him. This movie was indeed a reflective one, and I hope you learned a thing or two you can apply to your daily living. From your life to your business, or if you're married, to your marriage and relationships in general. Until next time, it's create. Until next time, it's Creative SGL, your visual storyteller. Please subscribe if you haven't and engage. I'd really love to hear your thoughts and how this movie impacted you.